Hello, I'm Dara and welcome to my beef farm. In this week's video, I'm doing what I think are two nice little projects in the workshop, and I'll also give you an update on the grass situation on the farm and what we're doing to deal with it. So I hope you enjoyed the video and we get straight into it. Here is the tipping trailer we use on the farm. It's broke down at the moment, the sides are off of there. It's a trailer my brother originally made. It's about 13 foot long, 8 foot wide. It was a trailer that I refurbished a few years ago. Made a whole new floor for it, all new sides, all steel, heavier floor. And if you see these little slots that I left in it, I also made a bale extension for it. And here is the bale extension on the floor of the workshop. Now, it was a failed engineering project, as the channel irons I used to carry the extra bale on the back of the trailer weren't strong enough, and as you can see, they got bent. And the trailer itself will take 6 bales on the floor and 2 bales on top. So by adding on this extension, you were able to get 8 bales on the floor and 3 on top, so it was carrying 11 bales. So that extension on the ground there was carrying 3 extra bales. And I went down to bring up a paddock of bales. There was 11 bales on it actually, but they were kind of wettish bales and they were too heavy. And on the way up there anyway, the extension gave way. I'm not going to put that extension back on the trailer. That trailer is not actually strong enough to carry that number of bales, carry 11 bales. It's not structurally strong enough. If you were carrying that number of bales, you'd want heavier steel in the trailer, and you'd nearly want a double axle as well, or an axle maybe sitting a bit further back than it was. You have to be, 8 bales is actually perfect weight for that trailer. So why is the trailer in the yard? Well, what I actually want to do is, with these slots here, when you put the 8 bales on the trailer, they tend to be just a little bit off the back of it. So they're a little bit off the back of it here. So what I want to do is, with the channel iron off the failed bale extension, I just want to make a frame, just a slot in there on both sides, and then just a backing bar, just to stop the if there was bales on it, just stop them falling off, that you could go along the road there maybe then, and you wouldn't have to strap them, and just make the whole thing safe if you did have the 8 bales up in it, because it has been used this year now. We were drawing in bales with 3 trailers going there, and 2 runs with this is the same as 1 run of the big trailer, and it's a bit surprised what more difference it makes if you have a lot of bales to bring in. So that's what I want to do. I want to cut off these channel irons, and I want to repurpose them and just make a frame for the back of the trailer that will stop 2 bales rolling off. And the rest of the extension, well, I have another plan for that as well, but I'll show you that as we get in further into the video. So I'm just a little bit further along with the backing bar that I'm putting on the tipping trailer here. It's probably a couple of weeks now since I've recorded that first part of the video. There's lovely rainfall in there now. Today is Monday, the 11th of August. They're giving a heat wave tomorrow, so having that rainfall now is absolutely ideal. You couldn't ask for it better if they're going to get heat tomorrow on top of that rain. Grass will be growing out over the ditches again. So it's been a really good year for grass. On this farm anyway, it's been absolutely unreal. Like, haven't been short of grass. I have 150 surplus bales taken off this farm so far this year, with less fertilizer spread compared to last year, where I made 50 and lucky to get 50, and that's probably with more fertilizer spread. So I should just tell you the contrast in the year, and just tell you the difference weather makes. I'll just show you what I've done here now at the moment. So here is the trailer just reversed into the workshop, and you can see there I have the channel irons ran into the slots in the back of the trailer, and I have back and bar put up. I actually had that back and bar thrown into the scrap heap, and I've pulled it back out of the scrap heap and put it back on this thing. So you can see where those channel irons go into the back of the trailer. Now I actually used the bent part of the channel irons and I straightened them up and put bits on them. I'm mean enough that way, but sure, for the purpose of what it was, I wasn't going using wood steel. And as I said, I pulled that back and bar out of the scrap heap. I said I better get rid of that scrap heap quick before I pull any more stuff back out of it and trying to repurpose it. So again, there you can see that was the way it was done with the extension. It was just shoved in there. I'll just show you it in underneath there, the way I have it done as well. So you can see in underneath there, the channel iron just slots in, and the reason I used that bent piece again was because it had this part in it, and that is just a spring bolt I had welded on there when we did it originally. So that's just goes in there, and you can keep it open like that, or when this extension is on, you just close it. So simple as that. So that place was in there and everything lined up, and the channel iron was cut to fit in there. So just I wanted to use that piece again, not to have to do any of that fabrication. So I only needed a short piece of it there, and the rest of that channel iron is up there on the old extension. So I have it done now. I just have to weld it all solid, and I'm going to box that off. I'm going to actually put in a piece of box iron in there just to strengthen it up. And if I had to do that the first time when I made it, possibly it would have been stronger and it mightn't have bent on me, but that's the way it is, and it'll hold, I said, 3 bales the length of the floor, 6 bales altogether, and give me a little bit of options. I want to bring in a few bales safe from the road, won't fall off. In the workshop and have it up on stands is the actual bed of the bale extension I made. So I'm going to repurpose that. So if you have an idea what I might repurpose it as, you can put it in the comments there now. It would actually be a smashing welding table if I had legs on it with caster wheels on it. Because I've been using it to do a few bits on top of it, and it's been fantastic. You're working at a good height and things like that, but that's not what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to reuse these channel irons here, so they're going to be welded onto it, and I'm also going to need this fella here, which is a Euro attached there for a front loader. So I won't tell you what I'm going to make out of it, but I will show you in a few more minutes when I have a little bit more work done on it. It's a damp day today. It's trying to rain, but it's not able to rain. It's the 18th of August. It's a bit on now since I started here in the workshop. We could actually do with a bit of rain. You can see the grass is coming under a little bit of drought stress, but we'll be all right for another week, I'd say, anyway, before we will be kind of things start getting tight. But I'm just in the workshop, and I'm back at a project I showed you earlier on, and you can see if you were right in what you were thinking what I was going to make. So as you can see, I have uprights welded on to the base, and I have a Euro hitch, and I have another upright jigged on over there as well. So what I'm making is a safety basket. It can be put on the front loader tractor. That's what the Euro bracket is for. That will be welded on there, probably welded onto that. I kind of want to keep it down as low as I can, so that will get the full height out of the loader. So it's an 8x4 basket. My brother has one, and I'd often be borrowing it. And then when this platform was thrown out there, and just hit me one day, well, Jeannie Mac, I'm going to upcycle that into my own basket. And it'll be safe then if you want to do clean gutters or anything like that. That light up there is gone, and it'll be very safe. Bring in the loader, and I can either get someone to lift me up if there's someone around to that light, or even you can put a ladder to the basket, and once you're in the basket then you can work safely in it. So I just have kind of it tacked in place there, and I'm going to mock it all up first and probably put on that top rail. That top rail is actually cut for that, and then before I'll weld anything solid. So I'll show you again now as we get a bit further on along. I'm a good bit along now with the basket. The receiver for the microphone is broken now, so I'm going to talk a bit louder and hopefully it'll come out a bit better. I was working away there and keep forgetting to turn on the camera, so I may give you an update now of how the basket is turning out. You can see I have all the corner pillars up on it, and the bars across the top, across the middle, and then on this side we have a gate that you can open and just get into the basket without having to climb in through it. My brother has a basket, but you have to climb in through the bars to get into it, and we're all getting older and just easier. So the door closes out, so it can't push out. Even if that handle isn't locked, the door won't come out as there's a stop on it there. So I suppose a bit of a safety aspect of it. I have the Euro hitch welded on, but it's not fully welded. I will put it on the loader and tip it over on its side so that I can do those sort of welds. I don't want to do those welds uphill or downhill. I'd rather put the basket over on its face and weld it on the flat. So that's how she's turning out at the moment. I'm just getting an hour here and there to do a bit on it, so that's probably why when I come in I forget to turn on the camera. But we've got that far now. At the moment I'm just putting this toe bar all around it. So that's just to make sure that, I suppose, if Vanton is on the floor of the basket, it's not going to roll out, and also you tip your toe as well if you're doing something off that toe bar, and you know then that you can go no further, and it'll save you tripping or falling in the basket or things like that. So that I have the toe bar now to put all the way around there and around, and I have one more bar to put in here and across. I might look up getting something for there to make a truck, or I might buy a small calf truck and put up there, because I think it'd be very handy to have something like a truck there that you can put your screws and some of your tools into, and it keeps them up off the ground, and you're not constantly picking stuff up off the ground, and you're working at a height, and especially screws and that kind of thing. I know in the other basket that I'd be using for my brother, we just put in a calf truck in on it, but it'd be just nice to have something in there permanently and that it's not going to fall over or anything like that. So I'll look into that and see if I can put something into it that way. So that's the update for now. I'll give you another update then when I have it finished. Now behind me is the basket sitting on the front loader of the tractor, and it's fully finished. So as I said earlier in the video, it's 8 foot by 4 foot, quite a big basket. Lots of space to work inside in it. A gate to get into it. So you just can walk in. And I put a truck in it, as I was saying I might do. It's actually a calf truck, one that hangs on the gate I bought in the local co-op, and I cut the hinges off it, and I cut it then to slot down between channel iron, so even I could be able to put something in there if I wanted to secure it. But I think that's a nice addition to the basket, so that you can put all your tools in there, and they're up off the ground and they're safe and they're within arm's reach whenever you want to get them. So I'm going to get the basket shot blasted and painted. It'll probably spend most of its life outside. I mightn't have a shed to put it in all the time, and even if it needs to be put out, at least a good coat of paint then will be the life of it, and we'll have this basket for a long time. That's a good view around on it. As I said, it's on the Euro hitch brackets, and I got the brackets down as low as I possibly could, so you get the maximum lift out with the loader. I have a couple of projects to do, and that's probably the reasoning behind making it. But it's just going to be a good thing to have around the yard here. Cost of it, I couldn't really tell you what it cost me because I bought all the steel last year for it. So a lot of it was sitting on the ground, and that's why it's a little bit rusty. And as well, the plate for the floor was bought a couple of years ago, and all the box iron sections underneath, or channel irons, they were bought years ago. So the floor and that was recycled. So the channel iron where the Euro hitch is welded onto is recycled. So I'm actually up here with that light that I said wasn't working there earlier in the video. I'm standing in my basket, as you can see. I have it on the New Holland there. So the light's on, shining up to me, and I just used the ladder then to get up into it, as I had no one to lift me up. So I'm going to replace the two tubes in this, and also going to replace the starters. I'll have to get over this way. I wouldn't like to be trying to do this job on a ladder anyway, no, that's for sure. You probably have the ladder in the wrong place and you'd be stretching. Obviously I have the electricity off as well, so I'm going to get myself electrocuted today. That's those in. I had LED tubes in that, and I didn't think there was wonderful light out of them in this shed, and they're expensive enough to put LEDs back in it, so I'm just going to put in the ordinary fluorescent tubes back and see how they go. What? Yeah, will you turn on the light over there just to make sure that's working? That's grand. Turn them off there again now. This part of the video now will bring you back up to present day, 2nd of September today. So where we are at the farm at the moment is I have brought in 10 of the best dairy bred heifers, and the reason I've done that is to drop demand off the grassland on the farm, and also these ones are pretty forward, so they could be getting onto a finishing diet now. The heifers I picked are from 471 kilos, which is the lightest heifer, up to a heavy heifer at 530 kilos. So I've started them on meal. They're on just a little over a kilo of meal, and they're on very good silage as well, which is the second cut. Really nice colour on it. It's well preserved as well, and the good thing about that silage is it's not leaving a smell on my hands, so the wife won't be giving out to me when I go home saying my hands are stinking. This year is kind of a funny year in lots of ways, but especially when it comes to selling your cattle, would you make more from in the mart, or would you make more from in the factory? And it's hard to know kind of when you're doing the right thing, especially with these type of animals behind me here. I suppose I've always finished the dairy heifers or the dairy beef side of things, and I'll continue to do that even this year. I just think you hedge your bets. You have the good continentals go to the mart and get the good money in there, and then you have these heifers go to the factory. So I'm contracted in anyway with TPAC 2020 scheme for a minimum of 25 animals. So these are the best animals and my most forward animals. So we'll put them through the scheme anyway and see how we get on with them. But they probably need a good 2 months feed. I'll get them up there maybe to 4 or 5 kilos a meal, and put a good finish on them, and hopefully minimum of carcass weight of maybe 260, 270 kilos. That's what I'll be hoping on this first batch of heifers, and after that, then we'll see. But definitely having these heifers gone in off the land has made a big difference to demand. You can see it there now. There was 42 in the group, so it's dropped back to 32. And you can see that paddocks are lasting that little bit longer. I know during this video or earlier in the video, I was saying kind of we're getting rain and then we're getting a heat wave, and there was rain in the early parts of the video and grass was growing well, but it was at the time. But then we were getting a lot of sunshine, but we were also getting the wind. Sunshine and wind is great for drying the clothes, was not great for growing grass, as it was taking the moisture out of the top of the ground. Now, as I said, I don't burn here too quick, but in the last week now things got kind of toasty in a lot of paddocks, especially any paddocks that were grazed and had the cover gone off. They just burnt and there was very little coming back. So so having these gone off the ground as after helping things. We've got rain now in the meantime, which has kicked off growth again. You can see it. So I'll go out and I'll show you the cows and I'll give you the update on what the story is with them. So I'm just out with the cows, and as you can see behind me there, I have a round feeder full of silage out with them. So I've started feeding the cows a couple of days ago. This is probably their 4th bale of silage. We've got an inch of rain there in the last week. Probably came a week too late. If it had to come a week earlier, we wouldn't have to feed that and we'd probably be okay. But it's not too bad. Grass is actually starting to grow again. So I'm just going to slow them down now with silage, 1 bale a day, and till we get enough grass kind of built up there again, so I can go full-time grazing without supplementation. I'm only after putting that bale in now. Like I put that feeder there yesterday, so as you can see, ground is still very dry. They won't leave any marks. They're not going to go to their ankles in it now or anything. I just moved the cows about an hour ago there, so I'm going to take up that reel and just give them the full run of the paddock. They're not grazing it out overly well there. They'll be left there until tomorrow, following morning. I'll take them out. So I'll give them another bale of silage and I'll make them graze it out a bit tighter than that. So you would have seen earlier in the video we were kind of saying if we didn't get rain the next week, we'd be feeding. So that's kind of what happened there, and a lot of wind as well there. So that's kind of the update of what's happening out on the farm there with the livestock. I'm trying to keep the videos kind of mixed up a little bit. I know not everyone likes stock work every week, and some people do like stock work every week, but I was trying to find a balance for everyone, just to keep everyone interested in watching the videos. So I'll just go back in and give you one last look at the trailer, and we'll leave the video at that then. Now I'll give you a fine look at the bale rack there. It's finished on the trailer. As I said there, I just boxed off that bit of channel iron. I just put a 3x1.5 box iron in there and welded it in. I'll give it a bit of strength, extra bit of welding there. And the same there. And that box iron was brought all the way in to the frame. So it's done now. Said we just recycled what I had already, put it on the trailer, make it safe if you want to bring a few bales, and job done. So I leave the video at that, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.